Hey guys, it's Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and today we'll be watching episode 2 of season 1 of the Netflix original The Witcher. Now, whenever I watched the show yesterday, I did not know that this was actually based off a book series, and now I'm really intrigued to go and read the book series. For people who have actually read the book series and played the video games, please comment down below which one is better. I would really either like to play the video game or read the book if at all possible, because I really liked the first episode. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this series continuing, but so far, so good. So good. I was a little hesitant to start this at first because I'm not really the hugest fan of fantasy. I used to be a really huge fan of fantasy when I was younger, but ever since I have now grown and my tastes have changed somewhat, I'm more into more realistic problems. Problems I'm not into, oh, we'll be overtaken by vampires someday. That's just not really my style anymore. Neither is fantasy. I was never really a huge high fantasy lover whenever I was younger either. So my love of fantasy just like dwindled away as I grew older. And now I'm looking to expand my horizons when it comes to fantasy and things like that. And when I first watched this episode yesterday, I really liked it. And it was one of the shows I actually talked about today. That being said, it's actually getting some pretty good reviews, but one thing that I compared it to yesterday is what other people are comparing it to, and that's Game of Thrones. So I'm actually very intrigued as to whether or not The Witcher is going to take its own form at some point, or if they're going to keep on taking inspiration from Game of Thrones, or be Netflix's version of Game of Thrones, because God knows, do we need things to fill the Game of Thrones void after they disappointed us in the very last season. Yes, I'm talking to you too. Too, if you're watching this, which I'm pretty sure you're not. But without further ado, let's stop trash talking the writers of Game of Thrones, or rather, let me stop trash talking the writers of Game of Thrones for that ending, and let's watch The Witcher, because I'm very excited to see where this storyline will go. Okay, so kinda like how I do most Netflix series originals, sometimes I'll make commentary here and there, and sometimes I will actually be full-on invested in the episode to where I actually forget to make commentary, and this is what happened with this one. Now this one is set into 3 different stories. You have Yennefer, which I actually really liked her story. Yennefer was bullied in her village for being deformed and not like anyone else in her village. Her father ended up selling her for 4 marks to a witch who, I don't know if this is like, she runs like a school. I wouldn't say school, but like a program, like a small program for witches where they could ascend and stuff. I don't know what that's called. Please comment down below if you know the correct terminology for witches is called. But she ends up going here, or rather being forced to go here. And, you know, this episode is rather her journey into ascentment, I believe it is, and I think this is actually really well done, to where I think Yennefer is probably going to be one of my favorite characters, because I feel a lot of her emotions, and I really like the relationship between her and, I know her name, I've saw her name a lot, I just will horribly mess up her name, because I've only, heard it once on the screen, but I feel like she's gonna be a pretty interesting character. I'm just not sure yet whether or not Now she's gonna be a good character or a bad character. We'll see about that when the show progresses. Now her quote-unquote love interest in this episode, I'm all like, oh, I really hope he doesn't end up being a bad guy. And of course we can't really trust anyone in this show, so he ends up, being a rat to like another person, which I don't know who this guy is. Maybe he was in the first episode. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But she confides in him that she's actually half elf. Now the half elf thing is actually really important in this episode because there was a battle where a lot of elves got wiped out from existence, and there's only a spare few amount of elves left. And her real father, was actually half elf, and her mother is human, which caused her deformity at birth, and that's why she is the way she is, and not many people know this about her. And not many people. She didn't want a lot of people knowing that about her because elves are. I don't know why elves are seen as bad in this universe. Maybe they explained it whenever God, I'm really bad with names, but whenever the elf was telling the Witcher about this battle, maybe I missed something about that, why they think elves are so bad. I know elves are like the originators of the magic in this universe, so maybe it's because they can be powerful if they want to, but I actually really liked Yennefer's storyline. I actually really liked the practicing a magic, how she isn't very good at everything, but she keeps on at it and keeps on trying and trying, because I hate it whenever someone is instantaneously good at anything. And Yennefer is different with the fact that she's not great at everything. She's actually the opposite. She's not good at anything at first. The only one thing she is actually really good at is making portals to other dimensions, and that's pretty cool. I think that would be a useful skill. And then, next, we're gonna talk about Ciri, which her real name is Sorella, but she prefers being called Ciri. So I'm just gonna call her Ciri, sometimes Sorella in this. We get her storyline in this one. And of course she's on the run. She doesn't want this assailant to find her and kill her. So of course she is on a mission to find the Witcher, which I will attempt his name at some point when I get to his section, but right now I'm just gonna refer to him as a Witcher because I feel like there is a lot, and I mean a lot, of stories of like historic fantasy names in here, which I do not know the pronunciation of, therefore if I botch it, I'm sorry. But she runs into this elf. We don't know he's an elf until later. I cannot remember his name because it takes more than one pronunciation of the name for me to get it. Yeah, but she runs into this elf that saves her from eating poisonous berries. And while they're walking, they actually stumble upon this small community-built village of people that are suffering from the war that had just happened in the previous episode. So of course Ciri comes up. Someone's very disrespectful of the fact that she cut in front of line, which, cutting in front of a line is also very disrespectful, but of course she's a princess. She's never really had to wait on anyone. Honestly, there are people that always waited on her, but now that no one really knows who she is, she's treated as a normal person. person, so she's all like, this food is from your queen, and then she finds out that the people in that camp actually hate the queen. Like, they hated the queen, they think that she's the reason why most of this happened to him, and I really thought that this was a good way to showcase the different effects of war and not how everyone is gonna be on the monarchy's side of things because it's easy to blame the monarchy for wars even if the war was beyond their control. A lot of people will blame the person who is the scapegoat, who is the easiest to blame. And in this point, it's Ciri's grandmother. So she's staying with people going, fuck the queen, fuck this, fuck that. And she stumbles upon this boy, and this boy takes her to his family. She, of course, because this family also hates the queen. The queen, says that, like, her name is a different name. Like I said, not good with names. If they're not repeated more than once, I won't remember the name. I promise I'll get the name by the end of it. But she, of course, has an alias, has a different background story. She tells the truth, but not as much truth as she could. So she tells the truth to the mother, and then the mother feels sympathy for her and takes her in for the night. Lo and behold, that doesn't end up working because their village becomes under attack during the nighttime, and the whole family ends up dying. The son is shot by an arrow. The mother ends up getting killed mid-raid by her house servant, I believe. He was, because, you know, she wasn't the nicest person to her servant. I don't want to say as far as that he's a slave. I don't know. Comment down below if that was a thing in the, like, video game or the book. I don't really know what he actually was. But she ends up getting stabbed to death, which, of course, Ciri witnesses the brutality. I feel sorry for this girl. She's had to witness so much brutality in the past couple of episodes. When she's actually lived a pretty sheltered life up until this point. So I do feel bad for her. And now, of course, she's the elf ends up finding her and saving her again. And then at the end of the episode, she actually finds out that he's an elf, and of course they go traveling on together. Now, the third storyline was the one that I had the least interest in, which was, let me try to pronounce the Witcher's name. Geralt? Yeah, Geralt. I think his name is Geralt. Which is Geralt's storyline. And this one, he's in a village, and the villagers are having a problem with a so-called devil. No, Geralt doesn't believe in the devil, but he does believe that there is a monster nearby. So him and a bard team up to go find this devil. Now, one of my favorite scenes in this episode is actually whenever he finds a so-called devil. He looks like a centaur to me, or he looks like Phil from Hercules to me, honestly. Did anyone else get that vibe? I got that vibe. But he runs into him, and I think my favorite line between the two was when they were exchanging words, and the Witcher was just like, and Geralt was all like, what, did your mother fuck a goat? And he's all like, no, like, and he cuts a piece of Geralt's hair off, and it's all like, did your mother fuck a snowman? And then they're all fighting with each other, and I'm all like, ah, the insults in this one are like gold. Gold. I actually really enjoyed that. So he ends up knocking Geralt out, and him and the bard get captured by none other than elves, and then the head elf tells him why elves are so hating and untrusting of humans, and of course Geralt, being a witcher and not a human, was like, hey, if you're gonna kill me, at least make sure you know that I'm not a human. I'm a witcher, and they hate me just as much as they hate you. They would rather see me erased from existence than accommodate anyone who is the least bit different to their own standards. And I feel like that's a very important message in this show, honestly. And I actually will probably watch episode 3 here in a minute. But, like, so they end up getting let go. Let go because, I don't know, the elf had a change of heart or something like that. But out of the 3 storylines, I say that the most intriguing ones is definitely Yennefer's. I can't wait to see what they do with her character and her ascent. I do like the whole chaos is magic, or magic and chaos go hand in hand. I really do like that message. So hopefully, this show ends up actually being pretty good. Fingers crossed. It's actually doing really well in my eyes so far. And a total 180 from viewers, which I watched. I'm definitely gonna be getting the review for that up soon, so stay tuned for that, because viewers took a 180 for me. I thought I would enjoy it. Spoiler alert, I did not really enjoy it. But I feel like I'm gonna stick with this. I really hope I end up finishing this before Season 2 comes out on the 26th. There's only 8 episodes in this series, so I'm only 6 episodes away from finishing. But so far, so good. I like it. I can't wait to see how they intertwine the 3 storylines together. Because we got Yennefer, we got Ciri, we got Geralt, and I can't wait to see how their 3 dynamics smush together. Because, like I said, I don't know the books. I don't know the video game series. I'm totally new to this world, and I find it fascinating. And if they can make me read the book or play the video game, then it's a-okay with me. So there you guys have it. That was my review of The Witcher Season 1, Episode 2. Did you guys like this episode? And who is your favorite character so far? Comment down below and let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!